Why do I repeat patterns? How do I feel about repeating patterns? 30 days of feeling, I think day 13. I was just sitting here like in the last 10 minutes thinking about a video idea, and it popped up pretty much instantly because I'm going through one of those things as we speak. The repeated pattern of itching and scratching my leg before it's, I guess, all the way healed, resulting in, if you've been following me, I had like a huge leg infection last month. The last few months, it was really a pain in the ass. And in the last like week and a half, it came back again because I scratched a little bit and it spread and I wasn't stopping. I was keep moving forward. I was back in my rhythm of flow of exercise and training, all the things. And then it imploded this morning when I realized that it's getting worse. I was like, all right, I have to stop everything again. All that forward momentum, and I have to reset and come up with a new strategy and a new plan and a new way forward. So today I'm just going to feel into and kind of like get into why I repeat patterns and how I feel about that. So I think that repeating patterns is probably one of the most common things that people deal with that's like secretly contributing to their potential frustration, anger, annoyance, and overall disposition with the world. I myself have been guilty of this over and over again, even with all the wisdom that I have, even with all the experience I have, even with my vocation and being in a place where I'm constantly being exposed to helping people through these things. I still fall susceptible to it all the time, mostly because of my unawareness about certain aspects of me, which is why the work I do is so important in just like better understanding how I am in different areas of my life, because I am different in different areas of my life. And here's an example. When it comes to like emotional health or spiritual health or like Graham's like path, I'm really conscious of that. And if I feel off or I feel like I'm going too fast or I feel like I'm forcing things, like I can very quickly come back, recenter, and then move in the direction that's right for me. But I'm noticing when it comes to my physical health, I have a tendency to say things like, and this morning I said this with my girlfriend, talking about my eczema. I was like, oh, I've just always had it, which is like me saying emotionally, oh, I've always just been angry, so I don't really pay too much attention to it. It's not a big deal. It just flares up sometimes. Well, that's something that I really want to work on. So it's really important. So how I feel about breaking patterns, shifting patterns, repeating patterns, I feel like it's necessary. To me, growth is a spiral upwards or a spiral downwards. I've tried to make it in my life as much as possible spiral up, um, which really just means that it's the same lesson I'm experiencing over and over again, but I'm experiencing it from a different vantage point. So it changes. Uh, I think it's really important to be conscious of that, because when I'm conscious that growth is a spiral, it helps me to better understand that these lessons are going to be repeated. I'm going to have more of these experiences where I need to shift out of a different spiral or shift out of a different thought loop or a pattern in order to progress, in order to grow mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, whatever it is. These are all patterns that I engage in that perpetuate certain things that I want or don't want more of. And it kind of is that simple in a way. So for me, how I feel about repeating patterns is I feel like it's inevitable, it's essential, and it's important for me to be conscious of while I'm in it. And for me at this moment, I feel really thankful for taking the time to look at it from a different perspective. And this morning on my walk, just like really grateful for this specific situation because I mentioned this in a previous video, but I haven't had a really bad eczema flare up in like 5 or 6 years. It's been a while. When I last had it, I was much younger. I wasn't anywhere near as aware of what's happening in my life and in my body as I am now. So as I approach it now, I'm in a different place. All these things mean more to me. It's more serious than it was because I don't. I want my body to feel really good. And if I have an eczema flare up or an infection, there's something inside of me that I need to fix and work on. And fix isn't the word, but just work on, heal, um, listen to. I feel like that's really important. So I feel like when it comes to pattern repetition, for me, it's all about stopping myself in the track of the pattern. And if I look at it as like a loop, it's almost like on one side of the road as I come around this final side, when I choose to stop and slow down, it's like me pressing a lever that moves the road down and helps me get off the track. So much of what I think carries people into like really, really difficult situations, or like a lot high stress situations or emotional stress situations, is never getting off the loop and never stopping, never reflecting, never taking a moment to really take inventory of how I'm feeling and what's going on. And that's why I'm constantly doing this, and it's practiced again today on my walk. Another huge breakthrough of me realizing that I don't treat my body the same way that I treat my emotional health, which makes sense because my body always has been healthy enough and looked good and felt good. And my emotional health was something that I really spent a lot of time on focusing in the last few years. But now, as I refocus and my emotional health is really good, the the seesaw swings. Now I'm back to spending time really investigating my body and making sure that it's as healthy as I possibly can help it be. And so I just find that really interesting and cool. And I feel like I'm thankful for the repeated pattern. It's a good thing. I think people have a really negative connotation to it. If you're never getting off, it can be really rough. But it's up to you to stop what you're doing and take responsibility for the fact that it's not going to change unless you change it. And I'm experiencing that literally as we speak. Again, just the way that I see my physical health versus how I see my emotional health, and really giving myself permission to be patient with my physical health, regardless of my ego's desire to have my body look, feel, and be a certain way. Be the most, be the best athlete, most beastly on the court, jacked, looking really good. All the things that used to fuel me, I can sense that I want some of those. Like those things have been on my mind, been leading me, and been making me run faster than my body is capable of moving. Not that I can't do it, just that there's a cost. If I continue to push, then my leg's going to get worse. If I continue to push and not take action, not take inventory or stock of these things, my eczema that's on my hands right now, which is on my fingers, you can see a little bit of it again, which is not ideal. Like that could get worse. I don't want it to get worse at the expense of me looking better. I've had that experience, or feeling better physically, whatever. So anyway, as I kind of summarize all this, how I feel about repeating patterns is, if I don't stop the pattern in its tracks, it's going to continue to move forward, and it's going to have collateral damage in other areas of my life, especially if it's a pattern I don't want to engage in anymore. And for me in the past, it could have been the pattern of drugs, pattern of obsessing over work and earning money and income, the pattern of trying to get with as many girls as possible, and feeling like that was going to fulfill my void. Like there's just been so many of these different patterns that I've looked into over the years and had to work through. And I'm just seeing them again more clearly even in this moment, just stopping, exiting. And the stop and the exit is the distinct awareness that like, this is not healthy for me. And I had to have that conversation with myself this morning, which is why I recommend going on walks and actually having those types of conversations. Grant, this is not healthy for me. I know this is not the right path. I know that this is something I need to put my effort into. Stop. Okay. And then the 3 minutes of irritation that I'm even in the situation, and the letting go and surrender of the fact that it'll be better when I do this. Okay, I'm down. What's the new game plan, Graham? What should we do? Okay, do the research. Go find the diet that's best for me right now. Anti-inflammatory diet. Stop doing as much training and exercise for a few days. Give my body a break. Start engaging in fasting. So the next step is figuring out what the protocol is for you to move forward and move out of that pattern, and then replace it with something that's better. So if the pattern was, for me, I am not fully giving my body like I'm not giving it. I'm like not waiting for it to be fully healed before I engage like full force again. Then this time I'm just gonna have to be more patient with myself and really let it all the way go, all the way heal, all the way through the line. I think sometimes I have a tendency to like go just before I like, oh, it's pretty good, I'm ready to go again, versus like really fully letting it heal. I think that's something I've been guilty of my whole life. Something I definitely have to be conscious of moving forward. But yeah, repeated patterns. I think that it's really easy to get caught up in them. I think it's really easy to beat myself up over this, and I don't really want to, honestly. It's okay. It happens. I'm growing. I know I'm growing. I'm really thankful for the awareness that I had this morning about how I treat my emotional health versus my spiritual health versus my my physical health, and I'm working to get all those in sync. That's all, just in sync. I would like to approach my life from the same way and always. And I'm 31 years old, so there's tons of programming that I'm still unlearning. There's tons of patterns that I'm still breaking. There's plenty of new ones that I'm integrating, and that's part of the journey. So I feel really, really good about it. I feel really good about pattern repetition and repeating, and I feel like every single time that I shift a pattern and change it, I just become a more present, peaceful, and powerful man. And that continues to play out in my life in a plethora of ways that are all enhancing my life. My life continues to get better every day. So if I have a season like this season where I'm focused on my physical health a lot, that's exciting. I feel excited about it. I think this morning that shift from just accepting that this pattern that I'm in is not healthy for me, and the replacement of this other pattern that I see can be really healthy for me, that excites me and helps me to narrow my focus and detach from my ego's previous plan of like, oh, we're gonna get this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do all these things, and we're gonna get jacked a year from now, versus my attention is on my physical health and well-being, and getting healthier and doing the things required to do that and making that the priority. And whatever I prioritize usually is what comes to pass. So something to think about today. I think it's an important video for me just to better see myself. I got a ton of clarity today. I feel really good about myself for having the courage to share this stuff, honestly. It just like, even every single video, I still feel vulnerable sharing a lot of these things. And again, so much of this series is for me to get to know myself better, and in the process for you to get to know me. And in the process, maybe you can get to know yourself better. And that's what this is about. So I appreciate you all as always for tuning in and for being a part of my life. And I'm curious, what pattern are you repeating that you are conscious of, that you're ready to change? And what's the new pattern that you feel is the correct one for you for this season? I feel like that's a great question to start your reflection on. And if you want to share in the comments, I'm all ears. I love to learn. But for me, the pattern that I'm breaking is letting my ego direct my physical health. And the pattern I'm replacing it with is putting as much presence, peace, power, and attention into my physical health as I do my spiritual health, my mental health, my emotional health. I know that when I do that, all the things that my ego wants will also come to pass, along with the healthiest physical form that I've ever had. And that makes me feel amazing to say. So wasn't sure how this video was going to come out, and I'm happy with it. I'm excited about the last 12 minutes and 53 seconds of me sharing, and I'm just excited. So thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. Presence, peace, and power be with you always. And as always, I recommend doing a reflection on a walk, finding some space, journaling it out, getting the conversation started, just getting the words out of your body about what's happening inside your system. I feel like in this moment, Graham feels, in this moment, I feel, however you want to start it. And just letting those feelings and emotions carry you to the words and help you create the mental clarity that is going to help you move forward. So anyway, that's me today, and I appreciate all of you, and I will keep you updated on my leg and myself. And thank you so much, as always, for just supporting and loving me. I appreciate it. Every single comment, every like, every subscriber makes me just really joyful, because I know that all of you actually are here to get to know me. That's what it feels like. And I want to get to know you. So I appreciate you. Be good, be safe. Much love always. Peace, peace.